summer, Pedro, Gariné and myself set off from Nantes early one morning to spend a weekend cycling part of La Loire à Vélo, a 600km cycling trail along the banks of France's longest river. Our first stop was in Gariné, where we met up with our guide Hélène to pick up our bikes and to stop off for a hearty breakfast of Nutella, fruit and fresh baked pastries from Poisson d'Argent, a local hotel on the river. After a brief stop in the neighbouring town of Montjean, we carried on to the Ile de Chalon, one of the largest river islands in the Loire. Here we made our way along winding paths through the French countryside until reaching La Poissonnière, a tiny fishing village where we stopped to take in the views of the river from the tiny cobbled jetty. We pressed on with our journey back to the mainland, hindered only by Pedro developing a flat tyre, courtesy of the cobbles in La Poissonnière. We soon arrived in Le Chenin, a small restaurant in the village of Sauvignies. Our lunch was fit for a king, with smoked sausage salad, fresh salmon and vegetable crumble and an amazing lemon meringue for dessert, all washed down with a glass of locally produced sweet white wine. Our wine consumption for the afternoon didn't stop there, as we took a quick detour to Château de Vaux, a vineyard just outside of Sauvignies. We were guided around the estate by the owner Evelyn, who told us about the history of her brand. Back at the chateau, we had a chance to sample 2 of her wines, as well as explore the grounds in more detail. It was soon time to power on, and we headed further west to our final stop of the day and our home for the night, the historic city of Angers. The following morning, we took a brief guided walk around the city with our guide, Jürgen. In 2 short hours, we visited some of the city's most famous landmarks, including the old timber houses and the chateau, which now houses the Apocalypse tapestry that dates back as far as 1377. Our next point of call was catching the train to Saumur, where we continued our journey west to Montsoreau. Our route took us through the carved streets of one of France's largest troglodyte or cave-dwelling communities. When we arrived in Montsoreau, we took a break from our riding to explore the river by boat, taking a short river cruise upstream to where the Loire meets the Vienne River. After getting back on our bikes, we pressed on with the final leg of our cycling journey, down to the commune of Fontevraud-l'Abbaye, where we would be spending our final night in the area. Early the next morning, we were given a guided walk of the abbey and learned about its fascinating history. Originally built in 1110, the abbey has been a monastery, a convent and even a prison over the last 900 years. Now it is open to the public as a culture centre and a newly opened hotel. Cycling the Loire is a great way to experience the beauty of the French countryside and some of France's less visited cities. Whether you manage 10, 50 or even all 600 kilometres of the Loire Vélo route, you'll no doubt leave with a newfound love of the country. I know we did.